So my name is Francis. I am a life coach. I am the creator and founder of Defying Resistance. And, my goal is to coach you to think better thoughts, feel better feelings, ultimately changing your behaviors so that you can thrive in all areas of your life. So today's video is going to be all about self-reflection. It's the end of the year. And it's really about that time where we really start thinking about like our lives and how the year went, and then thinking about moving forward. So what I'm going to do in this video is give you a head start on the self-reflection process, questions that you can immediately begin to use to start reflecting about your life. So I love doing these self-reflection videos because I believe, self-reflection is a very powerful tool that you can use to propel your life forward. And it's really hard to make changes in your life if you don't reflect, if you don't look back a little bit. And we'll talk a little bit more about what it means to really, truly self-reflect. But it's hard to see how change is possible in your life without making those bits of connection, right? And there are quite a few reasons why most people don't self-reflect. Often we don't do it because we don't want to face the truth about our lives. It's too painful to self-reflect, or sometimes we just don't know how to do it. Self-reflection is a muscle. It's a muscle that over time gets stronger and you begin to do it automatically. And sometimes we just don't know how to ask the most reflective questions to really cause a permanent shift within ourselves. I also think sometimes we often confuse ruminating over the negative things as a form of self-reflecting, when actually it's not. In my newsletter, I mentioned that self-reflecting isn't about ruminating about what happened and what didn't happen. It isn't about beating yourself up for all the things that didn't go as quote unquote planned, right? That's not self-reflection at all. When you self-reflect about your life, it gives you an opportunity to reflect on who you are, the direction of your life, and the things that surround you. It helps you to evaluate your core beliefs, your strengths, your weaknesses. For self-reflection to be powerful, it's important to use a lens of compassion and empathy. The great Dalai Lama said, and I love this quote, I came across it not too long ago, and I thought it would be perfect to share this with you guys. It said, love and compassion are necessities, not luxuries. Without them, humanity cannot survive. And we can really take that approach when we're self-reflecting by using love and compassion for ourselves and turn that inwards. What questions can we ask ourselves so that we can get clear and create more harmony and alignment in our lives? Remember, self-reflection isn't about looking at all the negatives. It's also about looking at all the growth you've done, celebrating the growth, and how you can have more of that moving forward. I also created a worksheet that you can download to get the rest of them. I got a lot of these self-reflection questions from a website called Simple Contented Life. And also I generated some just from my own, and when I do my own self-reflection. And again, these are just a few of the questions that you can use. And even if you don't download the worksheet, these questions alone will help propel you into deep introspection of what you're doing, how you're doing, whatever it is, why you're doing whatever it is that you're doing. And hopefully it gives you deep insight. All right, let's get started. So when we think about the past, because it's easy, again, like I said, to sit there and ruminate over the negative things and the things that didn't happen. But some questions that you can ask about the past that could really give you a different spin on how to look at it are, how might I do things different this past year if I had to go through the exact same year again? If 2022 was exactly the same as 2021, how would you do things differently? All right, next, let's look at the present. I love this question. What season of life are you in right now? Is this a season of courage? Is this a season for you to face a lot of your fears? I always say the things in your life are always trying to tell you something. So let's listen to the feedback. All right, a question about the future. I know a lot of us can get really stuck in the future. So again, the present is all that we have. But, it's okay to take a look a few months in advance to really take a look at what we want our lives to be in the future. So the first question is, if you continue doing what you're doing right now, where will you be in 5 years' time? I love this question because it's the idea of like nothing ever changes. And in 5 years from now, what would your life look like if that happened? It's a powerful question. All right, relationships. Now we know relationships are a huge part of our lives. And sometimes we need to really look around us to see who are those folks that we might have to leave behind on our growth, our personal growth journey. And maybe who are those people that we need more time with? So this is a question. I love this question because actually my partner and I had this conversation recently. What confrontations, if any, are you avoiding to have? And I had to be honest, there were a few that I was avoiding to have. And taking a look at that, because there are things that might be hanging around us like clouds, right? That follow us everywhere we go because we just haven't confronted it. But those things secretly, or I should say, subconsciously weigh us down. And how much freer would we feel if we just had those conversations? Lastly, well-being, how are you taking care of your spirit? And what makes you feel energized and refreshed? Again, do more of that. So if you've sat here and watched this entire video, then my guess is you're going to have a badass 2022 because you've already gotten a head start before most people. So just take some time, use these questions to strengthen that self-reflective muscle and give yourself an opportunity and the gift of personal growth. Because at the end of the day, you really have control over the development of yourself and of your personal life. You may not be able to control the things outside, the external circumstances or other people, but what you can do is shift the way that you think and see things, do the things to help strengthen your spiritual self, strengthen your habits in ways that serve you. You can make those little shifts, and it doesn't have to be all at once. It could be moment to moment, day by day. I hope these questions were very helpful. Let me know in the comments, and I will see you in 2022.